I found the envelope on the kitchen counter at 7:15 a.m., right next to my morning coffee. It wasn't tucked neatly, like a thoughtful note. It wasn't accompanied by flowers. It was just there, staring at me like a challenge. 10 Rules of Marriage. My wife, Rena, had neatly handwritten each one on individual sheets of paper. I picked one up and read aloud. Rule 1, don't control me. Rule 2, don't question my choices. Rule 3, accept me as I am, always. And so on, 10 in total, all phrased in that smug, condescending tone that suggested she already had a plan in mind. I flipped to the last sheet. The handwriting was bold, deliberate. I knew exactly what this meant. I checked my phone. Nothing unusual. Then I noticed her car missing from the driveway. My heart sank in a way I'd felt before when something wasn't right. By 8:30 a.m., it hit me. She was on a date, and not just any date. I already knew the man, Alex, my friend, Alex. The one I had introduced her to last year at a casual dinner. The one who just happened to text her daily. The one she laughed with too long, too often. I had choices. Rage, anger, confrontation, public humiliation. But I didn't want any of that. I wanted control. I grabbed my laptop, my phone, and a notebook. First, I checked her social media. Alex was tagged in several new photos. A dinner reservation, a bouquet, a post-workout selfie, but nothing incriminating. They were careful. Too careful. I smiled. That's when it hit me. Perfect opportunity. Rena thought she was teaching me lessons with her rules. She thought she was clever. She thought she could flaunt her affair in front of me without consequences. I made my first move. Leverage. Step 1. Her calendar. Google synced. I accessed it through the family account she never bothered to protect. There it was. Date night. Special dinner. Location pinned. Reservation under Alex's name. Step 2. Digital evidence. I scrolled through her phone, unnoticed because she trusted my lack of suspicion. Screenshots, call logs, flirtatious messages. Alex saying, "Can't wait to see you tonight. Your husband will never find out." I grinned. Step 3. The plan. I called the restaurant, posing as the manager. "Hello, we have a reservation for Alex and Rena, correct?" "Yes, unfortunately, there's been a mix-up with the private room. Security will escort guests if necessary." I didn't reveal my identity, just suggested politely that any unauthorized guests would be asked to leave. Next, I made sure a few mutual friends, who had a reputation for gossip, were accidentally invited to the same restaurant. Then, I prepared her surprise at home. While she was gone, I gathered all the personal belongings she had been flaunting. Designer bags, jewelry, gifts from Alex, and boxed them neatly with handwritten notes. Proof of your priorities. I labeled them carefully, ready to send to Alex if necessary. By 7:00 p.m., she was gone. I waited. At 8:45 p.m., she texted, "Can't believe you haven't called me. Everything okay?" I didn't reply. At 9:00 p.m., she texted again, "I'm at dinner. Don't forget our rules." That was her mistake. I forwarded screenshots of her messages, her flirtations, and her rules of marriage to everyone in our circle, friends, family, colleagues, anonymized initially, enough to show context without revealing identities. Just enough to plant the seed. Meanwhile, back at the restaurant, the mutual friends I invited arrived. Alex's expression changed when he realized who else was present. Security approached cautiously, asking for verification. Alex stammered. Rena panicked. I stayed home, calm, silent, watching her frantic texts and calls pour in. She realized too late that the rules she had written, the ones meant to assert control, had become the blueprint for her exposure. By 10:30 p.m., the restaurant staff had asked her and Alex to leave. Mutual friends were whispering. Cell phone footage was already online. Not viral yet, but enough to circulate quietly. 2 days later, I filed for divorce. The lawyers went smoothly. I had every digital trace, every message, every calendar entry. She tried to fight it, but the evidence was airtight. Alex tried contacting her afterward, blocked. Rena called me one night, after all was settled. "You were cruel," she said. I laughed softly. "I just followed your rules." She didn't respond. Weeks later, mutual friends told me she had moved out of town, broke off contact with Alex, humiliated in front of everyone she had tried to impress. I learned something critical that week. Control isn't about force. Control is about patience, observation, and using the other person's arrogance against them. She thought she was teaching me lessons with her 10 rules. She thought she could cheat openly while mocking me. In the end, I didn't yell, I didn't fight, I didn't stoop. I just turned her own rules into the mechanism of her downfall and walked away, calm, collected, and victorious.